Hi guys, how are we doing? Welcome back to the channel. Neil here, and today we're checking out this brand new amplifier by BLACKSTAR Amplification. This is a St James 100 watt head and it is totally feature packed. There's tons of features on this head, tons of tone tweaks you can make. It's going to be a damn long video, so go get yourself a cup of tea, a beer or whatever, chill out and enjoy the video. Okay guys, so I'm going to run through the specs of this amp and the features that this amp has. There's tons of them, so just bear with me. I'm going to go through them as quick as I can. I just want to say though guys, if you want to support me at all, then please use the affiliate links down there below in the description. There's a Thomann affiliate link down there below. There's an Anderton's affiliate link as well. When you go through those links and purchase anything at all, it really helps support me and what I do at this end. There's also a Sonic affiliate link down there below as well guys. If you go through that link and use code Neil, you get 10% off. Right. Let's whiz through the specs on this amplifier. Like I said, I want to really play this amp. I've already kind of done a video going through the specs, but seeing it here in the flesh, first of all, first impressions are it looks absolutely amazing. It really does look great. It looks better than the original St James in my opinion, but I really did like the way that St James looked, the 50 watt one, and I really liked the way it sounded too. This is essentially a 2-channel amp, but there are 4 modes, okay? So your top row of controls here are the clean and crunch channel, your bottom row are OD1 and OD2, okay? Both have independent EQ. Over here we have a gain and a volume for OD1. Over here we have gain and a volume for OD2. And over here for the crunch channel we have gain and volume. And also on the crunch channel here, there's a little switch that boosts your gain and takes you to super crunch territory, which is a famous BLACKSTAR channel that's been around quite a while now as well. I think that's a really cool feature. And you also on OD2 here have a tight control, which is really cool and a really important feature. I think it's that good, I don't know which setting I prefer it on. At the end here, each channel also has an independent presence control and an independent reverb control. I think that's really cool, guys, because I'm the type of player that will want my lead tones, I guess, my overdrive tones to be heavy with no reverb, and my clean channel is probably a channel that I would use reverb on. The reverb, by the way, is Footswitchable as well, guys, which is really cool. I think it's really awesome that they made it that way. Over here, guys, right on the end, we have a master volume control and we have a power control here as well. It's not a switch where you can switch it down to 1 watt or 5 watt like BLACKSTAR are famous for using. This is a dial and you can turn it around like this and you can gradually wind your power down. BLACKSTAR really are the best in the business at doing this, you know. The amps, when you turn down the power control, you know, from like this would go from say 100 all the way down to about 5 watts. When you do that, you don't lose the feel of a tube amp, if you know what I mean. It still stays all tube and still feels really nice, and the same between that or 100. This little switch over here is the one that you guys are probably most interested in. This is the output control, okay? Now this is a toggle switch. It's a 3-way toggle switch like that. You leave it in the middle, it's 100 watts. If you flick the switch up here, you can use that on EL34 mode. Flick the switch all the way down, that is 6L6 mode. There is obviously a reduction then in wattage. So if you are just using 2 tubes, say the 2 EL34s or the 2 6L6s, then it does go down to 50 watts. What I will say is I've noticed that on the 6L6 mode, it's actually quite a lot quieter to the head for some reason. I don't know why that is, but yeah, I'm sure it will all even out in the long run, you know, at the higher end of the master control. But yeah, really interesting feature there. I like all three. I can't make my mind up which one I like, but obviously I just leave it on 100 because you get the full meat that way, in my opinion. You know, you get the best of both worlds. You get the poke, and you also get the round sagginess as well. Over here, guys, is a standby switch. Leave it upwards on standby on silent mode and you can record. Today I'm going to be recording most of my tones going from the back of this amp straight into the camera. Over here is just the simple power switch. Let's flip round now over to the back of the amp. Over here you have a power supply here, which I think is really interesting. You can probably power a pedal from that, which is really cool. You know, if you want a delay or something like that and you want to shove it around the back of the amp and limit what you've got on the floor, it will probably be able to do that. Over here we have a cut switch. This is super important, this thing, guys, and this really opens up the amp and you can really fine tune your tone when using this. I have this and will have this on the high gain settings, mainly on the lower setting here, which is actually -2. It's a high cut switch, so if you have it in the middle, I guess that's 0, you know, there's no cut at all. If you have it upwards, that's -1, and at the bottom, that's -2. It does get quite dark, you know, there's a big difference between all these tones here that you have. If you put it upwards onto -1, you can feel it take some of the top end scratchiness off, as I call it. If you go all the way down at the bottom to -2, where I have it, it kind of gets really dark, the tone, which I like. However, it gets quite muffled as well, so what you have to do then is dial some of the top end back in using the presence and the treble around the front. So it's really not a case of just flicking through it, seeing which is the best one you like. It's a case of using this to fine tune your tone. I think it's a really cool feature. Next is we have Cabrig here, guys. Now, Cabrig is really awesome. It's like basically a custom IR. You download some Architect software to your Mac or your PC, and you can design your own IR in there by choosing different cabs, choosing different mics, changing the EQ on the mics, changing the different levels of the mics, even changing the different rooms. It's really awesome. However, I seem to tend to use the BLACKSTAR presets in there, kind of like I would use IRs, because I really find that they are good, you know, and they sound good. I use the Modern Balance, I think it's called. Next to it here, you can see a little cab rig switch. You can save 3 of your favorite presets, whether they are BLACKSTAR presets that are already in their stock or whether they are your own. You can save them here and you'll have 3 spaces for them. So you can take your tones to a studio, live onto the stage, anywhere you go, which is really cool. We have an effects loop over here, guys, which you can change from series to parallel, send and return there. Over here, guys, we have the solo toggle. Now, this is it's a really tiny dial where you can turn it up and add, I think it's plus 6 dB or plus 2 dB on the lowest, and you can foot switch this. If you want to kick into a solo and you want an extra bit of push on it, a lead part, you know, extra bit of volume, extra bit of poke, then you can hit the solo switch on the foot switch and this kicks in. The standard foot switch that's come with this amp for me is this one here, the 6-way here. It's like an XLR lead that goes into the foot switch. I think it's quite unique, I really like it. And then there's a 2-way switch here, which won't have quite as many features on if you use that foot switch. This amp also, guys, has MIDI on there. Of course it does. You know, who's going to miss that off? You know, it's got everything else. It may as well have that as well. So you can control this from the floor and set presets and save them into your MIDI control on the floor. I think that's a really cool idea that they've added there. A lot of guys using this live, you know, that are in big bands will be using that feature, I'm sure. Obviously, the USB over here, guys, is a way of hooking it up to your Mac or your PC. That way you can store your presets for cab rig over here. So guys, what did you think of the brand new BLACKSTAR Amplification St James 100 watt head? I don't know how they got so many features on it. There's a couple more things I need to tell you about before I leave you. First of all, this thing is super light. Obviously, the whole idea behind the St James series, going back to the 50 watts and everything, it was all about building a lightweight head. The transformers in here are specially designed for BLACKSTAR amplification. Believe me, this head is about half the weight of your regular 100 watt head. The other thing that I should probably tell you about, guys, is that when you get into the Architect software, which I'm going to do another video on later on, because it's not going to be the last you see of this head for sure, but when you get into the Architect software, you can set the foot switch. So instead of switching the reverb on and off, you can actually switch the effects loop on and off, which I think is absolutely awesome, because with it having some power around the back for your pedals, if you throw a noise gate behind there or a delay or anything like that, you can use the foot switch from the front of the stage to turn that effects loop on and off and kick in those effects on and off without having to stomp all over the place, you know, trying to press pedals in a bit of a hurry live. So yeah, I'm all for that, because I'm not one that likes to you know, start tap dancing around the front of the stage trying to turn effects on and off. As I always say, guys, use your ears, not mine. I want to know what you guys think down below in the comments about this head. I think it sounds absolutely awesome. Like I said, this is only part 1. There will be a part 2 to this as well, to fully cover the cab rig side of things as well. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you all soon. Bye.